Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wizards Outlook. You guys joined us for the preseason games. Well, tonight was the regular season opener. We got Cardell Dudley Jr., we got Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr., and once again, welcome to Wizards Outlook. Tonight, the Wizards, they took on the Philadelphia 76ers. Unfortunately for Washington, after they they had a lead, and then the fourth quarter didn't go as planned, right? They outscored 40-24 in the fourth. We saw some stretches of good defense. Much of it was not in the fourth. Some lapses on both ends, whether it be some bad decisions or simple things. I know one of the things Cardell is definitely going to touch on, so not going to mess with it, but it's one of those examples, where we saw with opening night in the NBA period like 24 hours ago, how crazy one game overreactions are. We're not here to do anything. They're like of that magnitude, just some simple, I guess realistic, just not even takes. We just want to talk about what actually happened. They lost to the Sixers 113-107. Cardell, would start with you. Just share your thoughts on tonight's game, then Ray, and then I'll chime in.
For the most part, they played well. You know what I mean? You can see a clear difference from last year, the way they competed, the defense, the rotations as a team. I just think down the stretch in the fourth quarter, when Joel Embiid got going and Shake Milton kept applying pressure from the perimeter, they just kind of fell apart. They got sloppy. Guys started playing out of character, and that's a result of not being mentally tough, sticking to what you do. You know what I mean? Careless turnovers. Careless balls slipping out their hands. They throwing passes cross court and having Simmons and them look like DBs, all pro DBs from the NFL and stuff, and they selling the ball. And then when they got turnovers, they didn't quite execute and score the ball and make Philly pay. And just little things where you don't expect them to make the change from last season overnight, but it's still lingering things that they have to work on to turn that corner to be a team. But overall, you got to kind of give them props because they hung with a team that's competing to try to get out the East. And here's the first game of these teams. It's both of these teams' first game. You see what happens when you compete hard. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know where the stigmatism came, or stereotypes came, where NBA players nowadays are so skilled that it kind of excuses you if you don't play defense, which just irritates, no disrespect, the fuck out of me, because I'm just like, you getting paid all that damn money. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. And you clearly can see tonight that the Wizards, when they wanted to defend, they got it done. They were stripping Embiid. I love how Bill was coming from his blind side, stripping the ball, making him think. And it changed this game because you saw in the first half he was at the 3-point line. He was kind of on the outside, but once Bill stripped him, he went to the low post where it's harder to come, and he was turning the face where he could see everything. Then he just went to work, and obviously, man, trying to keep Embiid down is just, that ain't gonna happen for too long. So I think it was just little things down the stretch, like Bill said, man, the careless turnovers. He even talked about himself. Just the bad rotations, like Ben Simmons getting 2 point-blank dunks in the lane. One was real bad from Russ. He was with Embiid, with Simmons, and then when Simmons went under, some confusion happened where it looked like Embiid was open at the free throw line. Russ ran to Embiid, but left Simmons wide open underneath the basket. I'm like, it's just little mental errors where, they still trying to get used to one another that can happen, and it costs them the game, because you're not, why leave a point blank layup? I'd rather Embiid take a 15-foot jump, but then give Simmons a point blank dunk. Just little things like that over time they're going to clean up. But overall, I'm pleased with the effort, honestly.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, man, I agree with Cardell. Overall, it's not a bad showing, for the first game out. It was a winnable game. They did let it slip away, with some of the carelessness that he mentioned. And in the fourth quarter, Embiid just did what he does, man. Like he settled down on a low block, and he put pressure on him on the inside, and he took the game home for Philly. They battered Washington down low. They had 52 points in the paint. to the Wizards only had 26. But yeah, man, that was the difference in the game, especially after the Wizards played a magnificent defensive third quarter. They only gave up 15 points. Then Philly came back in the fourth and scored 40. And it was a 6-point game. So Philly just did the little things down the stretch to pull it out. But overall, I did like what I saw. Russ and Bill, they met expectations. Bill continued what he was doing last year. He had 31. Russ had a triple-double. They do look like a different team on offense and defense, to be perfectly honest. They moved the ball well. Just seemed like new energy, was on the court tonight. And hopefully they can keep it up throughout the season. They shot well from the outside, 48%. Yeah, man, it was just that fourth quarter, but it's a great sign that they were in a very winnable game against, one of the top teams in the top half of the East. One of those playoff teams is looking to, claim the Eastern Conference throne. So if, like we said, their first preseason game against Brooklyn, if they come with that intensity and that willingness to defend, and just clean up the small stuff, then this could be a very good season for them. Definitely not going to have a knee-jerk reaction to the first game, but this looks like it's sustainable. It's going to be hard. The NBA is hard. It's just what it is. You're going to have to bring it every night. You're going to have to dig down, and you're going to have to be mentally engaged as to where, when things aren't going your way, you can still stick to your guns and do what's successful for you. They weren't able to do that for the entire game tonight, and it cost them. But things are looking up, man. So yeah, I'm excited. I really did want to see how they would look and when the games counted. And they look how we saw them in the two games in the preseason that they did play well. So it's not like this is an anomaly and they just happen to catch Philly by surprise. I think this is something that they can continue to do, but it's going to take a concerted effort from everybody on the team. But overall, again, a good showing. Hopefully they can bounce back the next game and get a victory.
Yeah, not too much to add. For like you guys got most of it. Obviously it's clear we saw the immediate impact Russ has had and continue to had. Just his energy, the edge is infectious. This is something we've touched on, in both preseason games as well. Thomas Bryant, I know it's tough, but this is part of just growing too. I know it's tough having to deal with Joel. That said, the team can't really afford for you to pick up 3 first half fouls. Like, you have to be prudent with your fouls as well. You being off the court, who's coming in isn't exactly, it's taking a little drop off defensively. That's going to hurt. And also, I think he only had like 4 or 5 rebounds tonight. I know you have Russ out there boarding. You had a couple players out there doing a good job, but end of the night, Philly's still out rebounding them 59-47. It's only one game, just something to just, again, continue to play with energy and something they just need to work on as well. Those are areas that you don't want to lose. We mentioned about being outscored in the fourth. Shake Milton, Cardell mentioned him early. I felt like I spent the whole night tweeting about him. One of the things we got to see with, Doc did, there was a stretch in the second half. They took Ben off the ball, and it was Shake and Seth had the ball a little bit. And Ben just flying around, just literally going from dunker spot on each side of the rim and just poaching baskets, essentially. We saw late with, Cardell alluded to, with Russ and Thomas and miscommunication. I don't know how you lose a Ben Simmons in a dunker spot, but, those are the little things right there. And again, that was something different. We haven't really seen Ben without the ball in Philly. It was something I definitely did like. And they got 43 bench points. Philadelphia did. We know about some of the guys they did add, but that was huge. 43 bench points on a night when Tobias had 10. Danny Green didn't have the greatest of nights shooting. Shake was huge. Again, like I said, I truly felt like I spent most of the time the night tweeting Shake Milton. It should have been autocorrect at one point. And then I like the night that Danny had. I know everybody only cares about points, but again, another instance where he just played within himself, didn't do too much, and contributed in several facets of the game. And it's not much more than you can ask for. I believe they got Orlando next on Saturday, and I know we're all aware, but that's not a cakewalk either. And that's another team you got to come out, and this intensity has to be a constant. And that's what I'm looking forward to each and every game. We know what the season's going to be. We're not going to get a really great idea for a lot of teams. So they hit the rhythm maybe 15, 20 games in. But again, the thing we know you can't control is your effort, your energy. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add as far as this game goes, or even just thinking ahead to Orlando?
Yeah, Thomas, he definitely got hit the boards more, but it's not just him. I'm looking at Lopez and Mo Wagner. But Philly different, man. When they added Dwight, that's a different monster. It's that's why I'm not getting on Thomas too much, because he took a beating. That's why he had 5 fouls, man. You got, this ain't one of those games where it's like, come on, man, you let like a second year and big just outplay you or something like that. And keep in mind, Thomas is not a footer. He's 6'9", 6'10". So he's on the sides trying to hold it down out there and be to wear you out. Then he coming in with strong as Dwight Howard, and he used to all he was moving. So that's why Russ had to go down there and get it. Overall, like I said, I like what I saw, man. They just got placed. And you gotta understand, for my team, this is their first time kind of. I don't really even think, because most of them came last year, I don't even think they understand how to play winning basketball yet. They got to learn through the fire. You know what I'm saying? You could tell them, but they don't know until they actually in it. You trip. They held it together when Washington went on a run and stuff like that. They held it together and just stuck with it. That's something the Wizards youngsters have to learn. I like what I saw out of Denny. He's going to have to figure out a way to defend without fouling. That's what Scott Brooks kind of harped on, man, especially in the fourth quarter. He said they scored 40, but about 20 plus points were from the free throw line. So that's defending, but you fouling them. You know what I mean? It's not like they were just torching them and all that. So, but that's a product of what, Joe Embiid, him getting to go in and Shake Milton getting into the lane. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just little things like that, man. But like I said, I'm pleased with the effort. If they could sustain that effort game in and game out, which, no disrespect, if you're an NBA player, there's no excuse not to bring that effort. They'll be just fine. They're going to be in the mix to be the team. And like you said, Orlando's not a cakewalk. You just beat Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying, tonight, with a balanced attack. So they got to bring it as well. But it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun game.
Right. Anything you wanted to add?
I think they miss Rui, man. I would have liked to see what he could have brought to a game like this, especially, needing his aggressiveness and his help down low, defending and rebounding. It looks like he's going to be out for, I think they said, a couple weeks, but that forced some guys to kind of maybe move into a spot they weren't expecting to be in. With Isak Bonga getting the start. And I don't know what their internal conversations were with Denny as well, but and he started the game. So man, it's a lot to be optimistic about coming out of this one. Like we haven't seen them at full strength. I think Rui is a big part of what they plan to do this season. So for them to battle like that without him, I really can't fault them for what went on tonight. People lose games, things happen. Like Cardell said, they just got to clean that stuff up as they move along. But yeah, man, this is a loss to feel good about if you can, So yeah, man, I just gonna keep an eye on them and see if they can keep it up.
All right. I didn't really have too much to add.
And shout out to Bertans.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying shout out to Bertans. He showed why he got $80 million. Because when it looked like Philly was about to pull away in the first half, he turned into a human torch. He was out there cooking. I don't know, from shooting that thing from everywhere. And that's what I mean by, like, at the end of the game, when Tom Bryan shot that free. And we talked about this in the preseason where we were like, he was hitting a couple threes. He was like, that's cool, but no, dog, like, get the ball to those that do this, man. You know what I mean? Like, just because you can hit it don't mean you're a three-point shooter. It's just not your game. You know what I'm saying? Give that thing up to Bill. Give it to Bertans, Denny. Get the ball to whoever, somebody else that can knock it down. Like you saw, and even Russ. Russ, he played a great all-around game except for the turnovers and his decision-making. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell his legs were gone early because essentially this is like his second preseason game. And he was airballing threes, not just airballing, it was short. He was airballing them up left and right. Like, dude, get in the mid-range, man. You ain't got the legs. You see what I'm saying? But, I mean, that tells you, even a veteran that has accomplished as much as he has, man, when you get fatigued and stuff, hey, man, it affects up here. So just cleaning up little stuff like that where you're not helping the Sixers beat you this game. They lost by what? Man, little things, man. Correct that, and they on their way.
Yeah. Like you said, they lost by 6. Take care of some of the little things. Even I'm sure they missed. I'm gonna take a guess and say they missed at least 6 free throws on tonight. Yeah, they'd be okay.
They missed 7.
Yeah,
they missed
not 7.
7. Yeah, I was just gonna take a blind guess and say at least 6. You know, again, just to add to your point, Cardell. Even with all the little things, you were within 6, and not only were you within 6, but you had double-digit leads for several, most of the night. Again, about that 15 game mark.
Points in the paint.
Yeah. Hey, I think it was like mid-third quarter when Joel started facing up, and that right foot started tapping. I was like, oh, he's that high post jumper just started looking like a layup. I was like, okay, it's trouble, because once that gets rolling, we saw it's. And again, give a little credit to Doc too. There was during that stretch when he got rolling. They took Ben off the floor, and it was 4 shooters. Like, you can leave if you want to, but your man's gonna get this work. Like, our man's rolling. So again, credit to Doc and a couple stretches with adjustments this game. And again, I know you guys mentioned it. I loved how the guards were digging down to bother Embiid. They kept them from rolling for a while, but once it happened, look, man, the dam broke, and that was it. Put it back in the bottle. It was tough. Again, it's looking forward to Saturday night. TB, I know the center in Orlando's not as popular as Embiid. Vooch is not fun. That's not a walk in the park for folks. For people that aren't aware of who that is, that's another 7-footer that weighs.
Neither is Aaron Gordon.
Yep. Those guards they're gonna have to deal with Kel and Cole, and Evan Fournier got in his bag late in this one. And that's a Steve Clifford team where we want Washington to get to, which is what Russ has brought, is just that energy and that edge. That's that's a prerequisite for a Steve Clifford team. Like, you worry about them because there's gonna be laws offensively where it's like, hey, y'all ain't scoring 7 minutes. But then, they probably didn't let you score as much during that time too. But it's gonna be a scrappy game. So it's gonna be fun to see how the Wizards rebound. From one game. And again, y'all, just big picture. It's a condensed season. This is not a normal year. There's looking at the schedule. I think the Wizards got Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday game. It's gonna be a weird year. It's only gonna be like survival of the fittest here. So again, just that's why we keep harping on this energy and this effort thing. There's gonna be a lot of nights this year for a lot of teams. That's gonna be the difference right there. Because fatigue is gonna hit. That's inevitable. That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's inevitable. But you guys had anything else before we?
But you know, we were watching NBA growing up when this was normal.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah.
No, I was just saying to harp on what you were saying. I mean, I understand the schedule condensed, but honestly, we don't. I know I don't care. We grew up. This was normal. This was every year. So suck it up. I
Yep.
mean, get it done. Like, who gonna care?
Nah, you're right.
Like, I'm just saying it because I'm tired of not you, but I'm tired of people in general bringing that up, though. You know, and somebody made a good comment on Twitter where they were saying WNBA players don't get days off. If they go overseas, get done with that,
Man,
come
they
right
get
back to the WNBA.
They get 2 weeks off the whole
Exactly.
year.
Hey, look,
Exactly.
for a tenth of the pay.
Yes. So, you know,
Like-
WNBA players like, I don't want to hear none of that. Get it? Nah, it's time to hoop. It is what it is.
It's so bad that what's it called? They miss college life. Last time you treated them to a degree.
Yeah.
Man.
It's sad, but like, man, you follow the WNBA, man. You could poll every 5 players, man. I feel confident that what we just said is we're gonna hit at least 95%. I feel confident in that. Very confident. But y'all have a great night. As always, get over to the Focus TV files on all of your social media.
None of that.
No, folks get drafted and hit training camp and 6 days later. Figure it out. And then if you don't make the roster, overseas.
Immediately.
Yes.
Immediately. And then if your overseas team is good, you play into the WNBA season. You get off the plane. You may have won a chip or you don't win a chip. Play an extra 3 weeks. Come back home and you're like 5 games behind. Fun times.
Yep.
Fun times. So again,
they can mess with that. Ooh.
It's real. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys soon. And we look forward to enjoying watching the game with you on Saturday. And we'll catch you guys after the game. You guys have a good one.